Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the podcast. I am your host. I am D.L. White. I write Black romance and romantic suspense slash mystery and women's fiction, and I read a lot of books. So this is episode 136 of the Bookcast. It's part reading journal, part writing check-in, part me talking out loud about what it's like to make books and try to make a little bit of a living at it. We start with what I've been reading, then we move into what I've been writing. We might talk about topics of the day or events coming up or sales that you should take advantage of, and then we just see where the conversation takes us. If you have enjoyed this show in the past or would like to enjoy it in the future, the easiest way to support this work is to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. Pick me up at bookcast.buzzsprout.com or your favorite podcast app or my website at booksbydlwhite.com/bookcast or my Substack. It's authordlwhite.substack.com. You can also just leave a quick review on the episode and share with someone who loves books or writing. You can also support me more directly by buying my books. Booksbydlwhite.com/books has them all there for you. Ebook, print, audio where available. You can also join the newsletter at booksbydlwhite.com/newsletter, or you can follow my Substack. Again, that's authordlwhite.substack.com. You can also become a supporter at bookcast.buzzsprout.com. That support is what really keeps this podcast going and makes me find the closet at least once a month. So I'm being really loose and kind of, I don't want to use the buzzword intentional about this podcast, but seriously, if I don't have anything to say, I will not drag myself to this closet to yammer for a half hour about nothing. And so we're kind of leveling out to about once a month. I come in, I talk about what I read in the month, what I wrote in the month. I think that's a good rhythm, but I will come in more often when I have more exciting things going on, like books dropping and me being at festivals and making appearances, or, when there's something going on, I need to yap at y'all about it. So here we are. It's February 1, which is a really good day to review our January reads. So I'm going to pop here real quick to Goodreads. Of course, I didn't prep anything at all. I had the window open and I closed it. I read 17 books in January, and by read, I've got that in quotes, of course, because I'm real big on audio. So I listen to a lot of books, or I ask the Kindle assistive reader to read it out loud while I work or fold laundry or whatever. But for all intents and purposes, I put words into my face holes and I ingest books. Got 17 of those suckers down in January. I thoroughly enjoyed my month of reading. I'm 5 books ahead of my schedule, and I aim to read 150 books in 2026, and that's not really a difficult task for me. I read a lot of books. I am currently reading Nobody Heard a Thing by Angela Henry. She is a Black thriller author. Have enjoyed her work in the past. And then Shea Sanders just dropped Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, a toxic love story. And y'all know this is a Shea Sanders stan account over here. So let's talk about what we got read in January. So I am popping back super quick to my Goodreads here. I got one of those, trying actually out one of those stands that people buy where you clip your iPad in it, it holds it up. And then I got one of those remote clicker things, and I figure it will help me record audiobooks easier because I can just prop it up to be looking at it. And I need my face to be angled up while I'm reading audiobooks and not down while I'm reading audiobooks. So if I was on video, that would have made tons more sense. Anyway, so the 17 books that I read in January, first book I read of the year was Kin by Tayari Jones. To know me is to know she is one of my most favorite authors. Absolutely adore her. I've been waiting for a new book from Tayari for some time. Kin was excellent. I gave it 4 stars. Now y'all know I don't do a whole lot of 5-starring. It's a very emotional rating, but I did truly enjoy this novel. You'll have to look it up. up because it's been a month now since I read it. But I do know it is about two women who have known each other their whole lives, and they consider themselves sisters. Sort of like goes through the course of their Bernice and Annie, two motherless daughters raised in Honeysuckle, Louisiana, have been best friends and neighbors since earliest childhood, but are fated to live starkly different lives. Raised by a fierce aunt determined to give her a stable home in the wake of her mother's death, Bernice leaves Honeysuckle at 18 for Spelman College, where she joins a sisterhood of powerfully connected Black women and discovers a world of affluence, manners, aspiration, and inequality. Annie, abandoned by her mother as a child and fixated on the idea of finding her and filling the bottomless hole left by her absence, sets off on a journey that will take her into a world of peril and adversity, as well as love and adventure, culminating in a battle for her life. This is a novel about mothers and daughters, friendship and sisterhood, and the complexities of being a woman in the American South. Excellent. Really well done. You should definitely grab it. I am waiting for the audiobook to drop, and I'm hoping I get an advance copy from Libro. I have not checked the ALCs, but I'm fantastically excited about this book. Haven't rated it yet because I want to listen to it, but I did read it, and it is good. The next one was No One Knew, which is Noelle Marshall, #2 by Kendra Elliott. Really well-written, emotional, action-packed. It kind of drags here and there, but after 30%, it gets real interesting. There's like the lightest thread of romance, but very closed door. Now, Kendra Elliott knows she can write a book. She's an auto-buy author for me at this point. And then Champagne Taste on a Bad Boy Budget by Zuri Day. Really enjoyed this one. Audio was a little bit stiff, but overall a very, very good story. Like fun, uplifting. Really liked it. Behind These Four Walls by Yasmin and Angoe. If I'm being honest, this book was a really good read that moved a little bit slower than I like for a thriller, but also it had this like one thread running through it that I had to see it through, my boy. I had to see it through. I just wanted to know what happened to Edie. Tell me what happened to Edie. And so I suppose that is the trick of a book, to like drag you through no matter what's happening. I just need to know what happened. Seven Daughters of Dupree, which was absolutely fantastic, by Nikisha Elise Williams. And I remember being embarrassed because I thought this was a debut. And then I looked her up and this is not a debut. It's her trad debut, but she did have some self-published novels before that I want to go back and read. But this is just a really wonderful, multi-generational epic story following 7 generations of Dupree women as they navigate love, loss, and the unyielding ties of family and the tradition of homegoing and the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. It's 1995, and 14-year-old Tati is determined to uncover the identity of her father, but her mother, Nadia, keeps her secrets close, while her grandmother, Gladys, remains silent about the family's past, including why she left Land's End, Alabama, in 1953. As Tati digs deeper, she uncovers a legacy of family secrets, where every generation of Dupree women has posed more questions than answers. A really fabulous novel. You should pick it up today and put it into your face. I absolutely adored it. Between Ken and the 7 Daughters of Dupree, I was absolutely spoiled. Really, really good reading there. And then I read Wizard of Lies, Bernie Madoff and the Death of Trust. This was the first book that I read as part of the 12 Lives Challenge, which is being led by Dr. Raymond T. Williams. I've decided I'm just going to enjoy this challenge. I'm going to read about like the most salacious, evil, crooked people on the planet, and I'm going to really enjoy it. That's the kind of nonfiction I like to read. And so loved this. I'm obsessed with Bernie Madoff. And so this month I am reading about the 3 gentlemen at the head of the Enron collapse. Can't remember their names, but it's called The Smartest Guys in the Room. I have watched the documentary film multiple times, so I'm interested in actually reading the book. I feel like there'll be more in it than was in the film, so truly enjoying it. So I'm going to pull out The Smartest Guys in the Room at some point this week and get started on that. I think I've decided like the first week of the month is when I'm going to dig into my 12 Lives challenge book and not try to shove them all in. And I'm just going to pace it and enjoy myself. Then I read Groove by Bernice L. McFadden. This is pure 90s nostalgic throwback. I think these are being republished under Bernice McFadden instead of her pseudonym Geneva Holiday. These people were a mess. These people were a mess, and I loved every minute of it. I'm definitely I need to like dig into more of the 90s style novel, the Terry McMillan, the Geneva Holiday, the, the older in quotes, novelists, just to like sort of relive that 90s period. Another book that I read last month that you should get into is If I Ruled the World by Amy something Dubois. Anyway, it's really good, but it's very 90s Essence magazine, complex magazine, throwback type. It's very soapy. It's delicious. I think you really enjoyed it. I read it in December and it recently just came out, and Hulu has already picked it up for adaptation. So, it is good. I'm looking forward to that. Then I read Wilderness by Angela Flournoy. It held my attention from start to finish, but also left me a little bit unsatisfied. I think I spoke recently about this, that Angela knows how to write a book. Like, The Turner House was a banger, so duh. But the novel tracks a group of Black women across years of adulthood, grief, shifting relationships. I feel like her writing is very poetic, and it has become more so in the time that she has been away from the page. I just feel like I didn't get the whole story, and it was sad. It was really sad. This was a sad novel. You should pick this up if you want to read a sad novel. And then Inside Man by John McMahon. I got an arc of this. It looked good. It wasn't. That's all I gotta say. Probably would have gone better if I'd read book 1. That's on me. He reminded me of Vincent D'Onofrio's character in Law and Order: Criminal Intent. Just like impossibly smart, not really very personable. The story was mildly interesting. I stayed through the end since it was an audiobook, but not really my speed at all. Probably not going to pick up any more books in this series. I reread In Black and White by Nia Forrester because it's out in audio. Absolutely another hit. Do not sleep on Miss Nia Forrester. Another really superbly written emotional tale. It's really realistic. I still want to string a couple characters up by their fingernails. Nia is re-releasing a lot of her titles in audio, which is making me go back and enjoy them again. And I got a little bit of Nia Forrester news coming up after I talk about the books. So remind me. Yeah. Her Cold Justice. This is Kira Duggan #3 by Robert Dugoni. Now, I love me some Robert Dugoni. I did blow through the entire Tracy Crosswhite series, which was at the time like 10 books in like a couple of weeks. They were really good. Kira Duggan is great. This is a good read if this is the only Dugoni series you've read, if this is the only Dugoni books you've read. I just realized that I just simply enjoy his standalones and the Tracy Crosswhite series more. Tracy is impulsive. She's obsessive. She's willing to do just about anything to solve a case. I actually really love when she gets on her captain's nerves, and there's a bit of a volatility to her that creates tension in the book. She has already lived the worst day of her life, and she's really kind of like, hey, like guns blazing, whatever. Kira is a defense attorney, and she's just a different character. She is more constrained. She's bound by ethics and procedure and professionalism, which makes the tension more cerebral. Like, she has to win this case with just her brain, where the suspense come in, which I get it. It's not my cup of tea anymore, especially after reading a lot of Steve Kavanaugh's Eddie Flynn books. And now Eddie Flynn is an attorney. He's a criminal attorney, and he is very Tracy Crosswhite in his execution from the other side of the law. It's a perfectly fine novel that does some interesting work. There's great courtroom drama. I think I connect more with emotional urgency and risk-taking and a different kind of thriller. Is it a good book? Yes. I read The Fire That Burns by Kay Shanae. I didn't take any notes on this book, so Shanae Burns has shied away from love and anything resembling a relationship. She's content with her career as a traveling nurse and occasional dinners and or hookups with male suitors. When she's offered a 6-month-long assignment over 2,000 miles away from her hometown of Chicago, she's excited. However, when she finds out that she's working with a man who skewed her view of love and broke her heart, her excitement turns into fear. It took every ounce of courage in him for Fire Jordan to stand up to his parents, but in the end, he still lost the woman who continues to have a chokehold on his heart. It's been over a decade, but she's still all he sees when he closes his eyes. When he finds out she's been assigned to work with him for the next 6 months, he immediately begins to make plans to win her back. This was a very good novel about a man who's been set up to marry someone. It's sort of an arranged marriage, but he revolts against his parents. He's like, no, I want to marry for love. Except the woman he's supposed to marry kind of steps into the middle of him and the woman he loves, and the relationship sort of breaks apart at that point. It's been 10 years since they saw each other. And now here they are and they work together, etc. Very good. Very good novel. I didn't rate this. Let me go ahead and read this. That's a 4-star read. It was very good. I wanted to read more medical romances since I am newsflash writing one. We'll talk more about that later when I'm ready to announce a title and such. So where was I? Before the Streetlights Come On by Ashley Antoinette. This is my first Ashley Antoinette. I listened to it in audio. Very good. Super, super, very good. Now, y'all know I love a story about women, friends, and the relationships and the ins and outs of life. Like this, I had this on my TBR for some time. Finally got to it. Regret waiting so long. Very well done. If you hear like banging and such, no, you don't. I'm doing laundry, but hopefully it's cut out. And then I read Sundown Girls by my writing writer friend, Ellis Stratton. This is her first YA and her first paranormal, I think. Now, do I read YA or paranormal? Absolutely not. Do not send me your YA or paranormal books, because I probably won't read them. But was I letting an Ellis Stratton book go unread? Absolutely not. This book was completely out of my wheelhouse and also extremely well done. No matter what genre LS is writing, there's certain patterns I'm always going to pick up, and that's why I read whatever she writes. She's always going to bring a book that zigs where you're expecting zag. There's always like a twist you don't see. I'm always in her DMs and her email inbox like, girl, tell me what happened. And she will not tell me. She will not spoil the story. And I just don't think that's fair. The drama's always going to be on that soapy, I need some popcorn and a glass of something bubbly while I read this kind of level. So the main character in this book is most definitely a YA heroine, but she stood her ground even when it meant a risk to her life and her health. There's a twist in this book that kind of took me out. Couldn't put it down. I listened to this in audio. Very well done. Really very well done. Then I listened to Yours Forever, Bayou Dreams, Book 3 by Farah Rashan. I read these books a long time ago, like 2018. Like they were the first Farah Rashan books I read when they were on the Kimani romance line. She has since got her rights back, and they're being re-released through Honey Blossom Press. They have done such a good job with the covers on this book. I love that they're now out in audio. Like, I hope they do her entire backlist. I just cannot wait. The narrator on this book was a little flat. She was a little flat, especially during the love scenes. But I mean, a Farah Rashan book in audio, I'm going to go for it every time. And then I'm getting a text from Erin at the Spine Collectors. I'm a featured guest on the Spine Collectors book club this afternoon. We're talking about the Never List, and I'm very excited. And I told her I'm going to do the book club in my pajamas and robe because I'm lazy. I'm also recording this podcast in my pajamas and robe because why get dressed? Why put on clothes when Sunday is pajama-shaped? So she just sent me a text to tell me, girl, come on, sign on in whatever you're wearing. So I'm doing it. I Don't Wish You Well by Jumada Emil, I think is his name. This was fabulous. This was fabulous. Jumata is a journalist who has covered crime and local politics in Mississippi and parts of Louisiana. This novel is a thriller. I kind of shy away from the whole podcaster solves a crime genre. It's a little bit why I don't read a lot of cozies, because like amateurs getting in the way of professionals trying to solve a crime actually actively gets on my nerves, but also some of them are so cute, I can't help it. I thought this was very good. So a teen investigative podcaster decides to dig into the truth behind a grisly murder spree that rocked his hometown 5 years ago, but soon discovers that this cold case is still hiding deadly secrets in this chilling thriller perfect for fans of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. 5 years ago, the infamous Trojan murders turned the small town of Moss Point, Louisiana, into a living nightmare. 14 boys, all star players on Moss Point High's football team, were murdered one after the other by a Trojan mask-wearing killer. Eventually, the murder was unmasked, but the community has never forgotten, and some folks in town still wonder whether the police got it right. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to spoil it. I listened to this on audio. It's super, super, super well done. Now, do I want to know about the killer and that whole thing? Yes, but also I like drama. So the character in this story is gay and he is closeted. His parents do not know. And so I'm also very interested in him like going through life as a person who is hiding a large part of himself, and once his parents find out about this and how they react, because the way his parents react when he talks about doing this podcast, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned for my boy. So this is very well done. Really, 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 really enjoyed that. Highly recommend it. I gave that 4 stars. So those were my 17 reads in January. So I'm going to pop right over here real quick to Dabble, so we can talk a little about what I'm writing. I don't want to talk about, for some reason, I want to keep the title of this book secret. It's like, it's not a huge deal. I just want to like piecemeal things out and not just throw things out, to people. I don't know. I don't know. I'm holding it close to myself for a minute. I want to get through the glut of the novel and know that I'm going to be able to finish and it's going to be off to my editor soon before I start yapping about it. But the book is the book is booking. I'm actually at like 36,000 words. I started this in late January. Your girl has been typing. I actually started mid-January, like Martin Luther King Day. If I know where I'm going, I can write fast. So I've got to know where I'm going. I did a lot of planning starting the beginning of January on who are my characters, who are my inspirations, what is their wound, goal, motivation, conflict. I did the romancing the beat sheets and sort of just like this relentless pounding on this story because it's got to make sense beginning to end. And who are the important people in their lives? And what is the conflict in this story? What's the romance conflict? And what's the external conflict? Because I like to have a central story that's, dragging you on and on. It can't just be these two people talking about their relationship and how they want to be in love, but they can't be in love. And that gets boring after a while. The back and forth and the staring out the window and a soliloquy about how you want them, but you can't have them. Yawn. Boring. I need an external conflict. I need something that's driving this story. And among this story also is the romance, which is like the central point of the whole reason I'm writing the story. That's riding along top of that external conflict. So I create a lot of work for myself, and okay. But also, I really feel like the book is going to be good. So I'm 36,000 words in. I know I'm going to cut at least 10K before it hits my editors. So if editor Kai is listening, just relax. I feel like I'm about halfway done, which is going to put this novel at about 50 to 60,000 words. But I have also written novels I thought were going to be short novella type things, and they topped 75,000 words. So the faster I finish, the faster I can get it to her, which gives her a lot more time to go through our 2 editing drafts. I wish I could be like I'm reading A Soft Place to Land. Tasha L. Harrison is on Substack, and she is writing a weekly serial, and she has these episodes that are basically, here's what happened in the story, and here's what I'm trying to write, and here's what it means, and here's, like all this introspective. I'm not that deep. I'm just not that deep. And like maybe at some point, like once I am done, I can like talk about the themes and the story arc and here's what this means, the symbolism, etc. But like it's there, but it's not. I can't quite put it into words right now. So just know that I want to drop the microphone. Just know that it's definitely a goal to be able to talk about this novel in more than like, oh my God, he's so cute type of language. But also, it's a fun novel. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of a slow burn, but I'm really trying hard to not make it so slow of a burn. So I'm working on it. Anyway, so the book is coming. The book is booking. I'm having issues with my windscreen. It won't stay up. Come on. Good gracious. Really? I'm leaving all that in. Because you guys need to know what I go through to record this podcast. My left leg is asleep because of the way I sit in this chair. And it's hot because the fan makes a weird noise and I don't want to have to cut it out, and the dryer is going and the washer is going, and I am in this thick winter robe because it's currently like 18 degrees outside. Why is this not charging? Also, my iPad is not charging. I just need y'all to understand the difficulties that I face every week when I come to record this podcast. So, yeah, it's important. More later, hopefully by the next time I am able to find the podcast booth, I will have more to share. I'm sure that I will, but I'm going to try to take today off of writing. I do know that I need to go back to the 2 chapters I wrote this week and sort of fluff them up and thin them out. And like a lot of times he did this and she did that and they did this and then a thing and then they went over here. But I also need to roll back and put my novel writer hat on and my cinema fan hat on and just be thinking more about it. It needs to be novelistic. It should sound like a novel. And where are your senses? And let's, not use a little bit of magic, but I know what a good novel sounds like. And at this point, I wouldn't release it, but also it's darn good. So that's the latest on that. That's all I have been working on at the moment, but I do have a couple of goals that I want to hit for upcoming events. You guys know I'll be at Black Romance Book Fest in May. That is here in Atlanta. It is sold out, but if you join the Facebook group, I believe we're in the last days of people being able to resell their passes. So hop on in there. You might get a chance to buy a ticket or add an add-on. So I am hoping to have this book available at Black Romance Book Fest. I'm hoping to actually launch it at Black Romance Book Fest and have it up for sale in print, in person, and also in ebook and audio. So we'll see how that goes. That is the plan. I do like to stress myself out. Why, yes, I do like to stress myself out. But, the more projects I give myself, the less time I have to sit on the internet and doom scroll and cry about people being murdered on the street, so anyhow, also on that note, I see a lot of people talking about, if you're not saying anything, I just don't know if I can be friends with you. And okay, you're just gonna have to unfollow me because I am not gonna watch a dumpster burn. I don't need to play. I don't need to perform for anybody. And if you don't know where I stand on things, you are not paying any attention. And so you do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna do what I've gotta do You can say I'm putting my head in the sand if you want. That's a you thing. I gotta do what I gotta do because I gotta get up and go to work every day. It's just me, in this house where I have a mortgage. And the house makes noise, and every noise makes me think something is breaking. I just really feel like my nerves is too bad to be a homeowner. I have other things I'm worried about. So there. The other thing I wanted to tell y'all is that I don't know if you heard, but Wine with Writers is back. And this is one of my favorite events ever. I've been begging them to bring back Wine with Writers. Do I drink wine? No. Absolutely not. But I love the atmosphere. I love a group, like a room full of women talking about books and writing and just basically like starting the revolution with a glass of something in your hand and just talking books. Love it. So Wine with Writers is back. It's going to be in Baltimore and it's going to be in June. And I'm wicked excited about it. I don't know why I just said wicked. I am not from Rhode Island, but I just be saying things. Things come out of my mouth. I don't plan this podcast anymore. I just sit down with my laptop open and I start talking. So things like wicked come out of my mouth. Anyway, I'm very excited. I will have, if it's not already up, it will be up, a pre-order for that event. I don't know what I'm selling, but probably not a whole lot because I'm going to have to ship books to that event. So if there are books you plan on buying at that event, it would behoove you to pre-order them or at least send me a message and be like, girl, I'm coming. I need this book. I can't buy it right now, but let a sister know how I can get that book because I'm not going to be bringing a ton of books to that event. But I do plan to have new book. I do plan to have missing persons. I do plan to have Neverlist and like maybe Hey Lover. Just a few. Just a few. But anyhow, I'm very excited about Wine with Writers. I do have a couple of like newsletter type events, like here's a free book. If you sign up for the newsletter type things, watch my socials. I'll have links out and I'll just like glom them all together and put them on the newsletter if you are looking for new books to pick up that you don't have time to read, but you should buy them. I'm only ever concerned about buying books. I'm never concerned about reading them because at some point I am going to have time to read books and I will have a glut of books to read. So I think that's all I have for today. Happy Sunday. I truly hope you are doing the very best that you can and you are taking care of yourself and doing what you got to do because it's got to get done. Do not forget to follow me on everywhere you see author DL White. I'm there. There's like a DL White _author and it's like a white man. And he trips me out because I feel like I'd be seeing myself saying stuff and I didn't say that. It's author _DL White. At some point I might change my sign-on name because he's too close. You need to back up. You can pick up this episode. It's booksbydlwhite.com/bookcast/136, I believe. Yes. That's where you'll find it on my website or bookcast.buzzsprout.com on the interwebs or via your favorite podcast app, of course, or my Substack, authordlwhite.substack.com. You can subscribe to my ramblings there. I also am posting short fiction and fan fiction at shortfictionbydlwhite.substack.com. I so thank you for dropping in and giving me part of your day and listening to me ramble with no preparation whatsoever. And I say stuff like wicked. It's just who I am. Thank you for joining me. I am off to have a fantastic Sunday, and I hope you are as well. Have a superlative week. Find a good book, put it into your face, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.